Hi everybody and welcome to Des and Lauren. This morning we'll be discussing the prevalence of police brutality in South Africa.
And this is definitely something that we have experienced ourselves, both myself and Lauren. Lauren is still suffering from injuries she received some time ago at the hands of just brutal men that would attack women with batons and shields. And in this specific case that rocked the nation, Paul Mashatile, who's the deputy president, his protection unit pulled off a blue Volkswagen Polo, and we saw in the video the beating or the kicking and punching of the people that were occupants inside this Volkswagen Polo. Now obviously I wasn't there to actually see what the circumstances were, but in this article we'll be covering now, the focus is the fact that this one of these VIP protection unit people denies the video. Okay, they are denying the video, point blank. In fact, he said in cross questioning he was asked, "Are you denying the video?" And Koyana responded, "Yes, I am denying the video." So that is the main focus of our presentation to you, knowing that the top police that are supposed to be picked for VIP protection for the deputy president make statements like this in court. And in the comments below this article, people are asking, can we still actually trust the police to protect us?
I'm surprised we're still having that conversation because the police has been established to protect the state and nothing else. They've never really worked for the people. I'd love to know in the comments though, if you have benefited from the police service in some way, either through being mugged or robbed or whatever. How has the police helped you? I would love to know some positive stories because I don't know of any
Absolutely, we need some positive stories. We've only had harrowing experiences at the hands of the police, and even the police working with me as a younger child, catching someone that stole my bicycle, proceeded to brutally beat up this person. I was absolutely shocked at the treatment that they gave this person at the time, and that is not police. That is not policing. It is using force. It's psychotic people that get triggered when they're like a pack of hound dogs chasing after a hare. And that is what you see in many of these videos where they just go into boss mode, go crazy and do crazy things. And the best is that they are now trying to say that this was them doing their job. This is status quo. And they also said they did not know the intentions of the Polo. So if you're driving on the highway and a blue lights brigade comes past you, if they don't know your intentions, this is what they can do to you, according to the evidence in court. So you can read the article yourself if you want to. Maybe, Lauren, you can just quickly dive into the article and see what they talk about.
Okay, we'll put the link in the description as usual.
Yes.
VIP unit attack, there was no assault. Mashatile's protector takes a stand in surprise court development.
So he's saying there was no assault. This is what you do.
I find the tactic very interesting. Absolute denial at all costs. And I think only someone that's really guilty does that, so there's no options.
Yeah, but at that level in court, I think it was a trick question by LaRue.
Perhaps. Shadrach Molekatlane Kojoana, one of the 8 presidential protection services caught on video allegedly assaulting people on the N1 highway in Gauteng, testified on Monday to being the one who pulled a motorist out of a blue Volkswagen Polo. Kojoana and 7 colleagues,
You don't have to read
it's
all
a lot
the
of names,
really,
appeared in the Randburg Magistrates Court on Monday after they were taken into custody at the weekend. The accused were part of Deputy President Paul Mashatile's security detail. Mashatile was part of the convoy but was not present when the assault happened.
How is that possible? This is a contradiction in terms. So he was in a convoy, but he was not there.
No, his
when the
eyes were
assault
closed.
happened. Yeah, I don't know. He was
wasn't
on
looking.
La La Land. I don't know.
Maybe he was in a Zoom meeting.
Maybe.
Some of the officers could be seen kicking and hitting 2 men as they lay on the ground. And I don't know if you've watched the video, it's terrible to watch. They face 12 charges, which include pointing a firearm, reckless and negligent driving, malicious damage to property, assault with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm, obstruction of justice, and assault by way of threats. So I always, whenever I've come across police brutality or incompetence, I always think, what is police training actually like? What do they actually study and learn? And it doesn't sound like they understand human rights at all. And like I say,
The constitution, the laws of the land.
Their mandate is protecting the state, the security of the state specifically. And if you think about it, they are in complete opposition to the democratic processes, because even our democratic processes technically is a threat to the state, the current state as it stands.
Absolutely.
So a police,
I like the way that you point that out.
yeah.
I've never heard anyone say that before.
Having a police is anti-democratic, technically speaking. And we're going to have to look at how we're going to maintain law and order in a civil society and a future governance system without needing a police state like we have today.
Well, Omega will help prepare people for that. And as we've said before, many people asked after my video yesterday, how do they become part of Omega? That training will start in September, or the preparation for that training. So we will give you details in August. So just subscribe to this channel, click the bell icon so you can get notifications, because you'll get notifications then for things we put in the community tab as well. Join our Telegram channel, you'll find the link below, and we will give you details there.
Kojoana also testified to being the one who told a woman passenger to get back in the car. He detailed what happened on the 2nd of July when they transported Mashatile to his home in Midrand. He told the court they stopped the VW Polo after a radio message instructed them to check that blue Polo. Kojoana said they shielded Mashatile's car and tried to push the VW Polo away. When the Polo reduced speed, it came back again to the vehicle transporting our leader.
So they are intimidating the Polo. It reduces speed, which is a normal thing to do.
I'd imagine.
Which means that it was now backing off to where Mashatile's vehicle were.
They could have just driven off.
Yes, so they don't know now what the person's intentions are. They could have just carried on, as you say. Then this is when the attack happened.
He said the VW Polo tried several times to bump the vehicle they were protecting. At last, we managed to box that vehicle to the side. After the VW Polo came to a stop, Kojoana said the protectors all got out of their vehicles and instructed the occupants to exit the vehicle, but they refused.
Yeah, right. Trying to bump the vehicle. You are not going to go and attack the deputy president in a convoy of maniacs, okay, in a VW Polo, and try knock it off the road. This huge BMW that they're traveling in. Come on, man.
That's crazy.
Do any of you believe this nonsense? Please tell us in the comments.
It reminds me of the poor guy that was pinned on the Parliament fire.
Yes.
Shaman. He testified that they also introduced themselves as Presidential Protection Services members. He said some members went to the right and left-hand side of the vehicle. During his testimony, Kojoana said that he was on the left side of the vehicle where the assault captured on the video was seen. The woman passenger apparently voluntarily opened the door. I think the lesson here is don't open your door. He then pulled out a male occupant, and Kojoana testified that Mashatile had left and they arrived at his house only about 40 minutes later. State Advocate Elise LaRue questioned Kojoana on whether the video of the assault that made the headlines was a true reflection of what happened. And here he says, there was no assault. Kojoana said that there was no assault, despite testifying earlier that after seeing the video a few days later, he was traumatized. Are you denying the video? LaRue asked. Kojoana responded, yes, I'm denying the video. It was only to control the situation. Kojoana said it was their duty, and let that sink in.
Yeah.
As police officers, to control the situation and assess the threat. He's saying it the wrong way around.
Yes.
You assess the threat and then you control the situation.
But what they did was assessing the threat is kicking someone into a pulp so that he lies there. There is no more threat. That is your situation assessed.
So that's the reality we live in, people.
Yep.
And as long as you're not a threat to the state, it feels like you can rest easy. But we know very quickly that situation can change, regulations can be passed, and simple acts can be mandatory.
The Terrorist Act that has been passed. Anyone that wants to do anything with regards to changing the state, even what we are trying to do, could be seen as terrorism against the state, when our constitution allows us legally to do things through the electoral system, which is exactly what we are doing. So yes, the state is trying to entrench themselves, dig in, sat the last bit of tax money out of everyone, until they inevitably know the country has to collapse. It cannot sustain
Yes, and
this trajectory.
it's so important for governments worldwide to perpetuate poverty and drugs so that crime happens, so they can justify having police, so you can report the crime and nothing happens, so that the police can be present to protect the state. It's a very sick cycle that we live in, and it needs to change.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you can get those notifications for the Omega training. Our announcements we'll make in future. There are other courses that we also provide, and you can go to our Telegram channel to get details on that. But yes, think about what we just spoke of. This is not just about one attack. There's been many during the COVID-19 pandemic. People were killed by the military who doesn't fall under our normal law.
Shocking.
Or under the Constitution. What happened to that killing? Nothing. A man was sitting in his yard drinking a beer, was attacked brutally inside his own premises by the South African National Defence Force people. Think about you being that victim in future. Don't think it just won't happen to you.
Or one of your children.
Or one of your children or friends
ones.
or loved ones. Absolutely. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.